Hi guys, it's your host and guide here, Thirtyne, welcoming you back to another episode, the first official game episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy VI. Now, I'm going to start off once again by just showing a few of the changes. Like, up here you notice above each character's name, we have what are classes, because in the Final Fantasy games we've always had classes. Your white mage, your black mage, your fighter, your monk, your etc, etc, etc. Final Fantasy VI was no different, right? We've got this unknown girl as our magic warrior, and we have two Imperial soldiers with us. Now, in the English translation, those were taken out because really they don't do much for the game, because you can't change classes, and they kind of just add clutter to that screen, personally. But they do show that if she's a magic warrior, then that means that she should be, she should be built to use magic and then some sort of fighting. If someone was like an Imperial soldier, you can kind of assume that they're not going to have much magic to them. And then if you check their stats, right? Strength 31, magic 39, whatever. Strength 40, magic 29, right? You can already see right there that, yeah, okay, they're built more for strength and damaging than magic-based stuff. Well, she's a little of both. So it's kind of nice, but unnecessary. Other things, you can see runics are now called accessories, which is pretty much the same thing, because that's what they were. They were your accessory, because you have your equipment, which you have, your weapon, your shields, your helmet, your armor, and then you usually have an accessory or two, right? And your two accessories, yada yada yada. You've got the abilities I'll get to later, don't need to worry about that. In your status screen, one thing that screwed me up as a kid for a long time was the strength was called Vigor in the American translation, and I had no idea what Vigor was. Honestly, I don't know why, but I could not figure out that Vigor just meant strength. Right? Why didn't they just call it strength? Why? Seriously, why? I don't know. And you see you got your speed, vitality, everything else is the same. Your evade percentage, your magic evade percentage. Throughout this game, I'm actually going to have to equip armor that works for both of those, or based on what I'm going to be going up against. If I know it's going to be a physical enemy, I'm going to worry about my evade percentage as opposed to my magic evade, because I've patched the game, so that the coding actually reads both as it's supposed to, and as opposed to just reading your magic evade percentage. Right? So if you would, and originally in the SNES version, if you built your magic evade up to 128, it didn't matter whether someone was going to try and hit you with a physical attack or fire 4, fire 3, it would still miss because you had over 100% chance to evade it. Yeah, it was kind of lame. I'm just going to make quick here in the configure mode. I'm going to speed everything up. I'll leave my gauge on for now so I can show you what it does, and I'm going to change my background color because I like this better. Alright, and on we go. Let's get in our first battle. A little hidden one over here by walking in front of the inn. And you'll see when we enter the battle, I've thrown a neat little thing there on top of our Silver Leo, or, well, Lobo. But you can see I've called him a Lobo, but down in the bottom left he was called a Silver Leo. Lobo is what they were initially called in the American translation, so that's the name that I'm going to use, because I don't know all of their official Japanese names. And I don't think I'll be able to remember all of them, so I'm using their American name. And, yeah, I'm not crazy, but I am killing off my teammates. This will make the game, at certain points here at the beginning, a bit more difficult. It will also make the game, at certain points here in the beginning, a bit easier. And seeing as how Yeah, you've probably guessed it. Those guys aren't going to stay with us, oh, sorry, spoilers, throughout the entire game because, well, they're generic teammates, right? They've got the same, you know, face picture here. You can't equip them. You can't change their accessories. You can't look at their abilities. Right? And they have the same sprite. So, I want all of my experience going to the unknown girl. Now, these guys, weak against poison, so you can use Bioblast. Doesn't really matter that they're weak against poison. I think they just did that because that way you could take them out with one hit, which I'm pretty sure you'd be able to do anyways. Regardless, we've gained a level. It's only the second battle. If we had those other two guys still alive, it would have taken 3 times as long. Yeah. Oh, but as I was saying, I was going to explain the bar. Down there on the right-hand side, you can see the gauge. It's a little bar that slowly fills up as we attack, as time goes by. When it's full, that character gets a chance to attack. While it's filling up, they can't do anything other than wait for the next turn. So right now you can see it's slowly filling up, and now we can attack again. However, after this next scripted battle, I am going to turn that gauge off because I don't need it. I find it unnecessary. I'll know when I get a chance to attack because I get a chance to attack, and it's not like you're really waiting that long for your chance, right? Characters fill up pretty fast. The other thing is there were 2 different modes to the game, active and wait. When you're in wait, if you enter your magic screen or your item screen or your magic screen, enemies won't be able to attack you. It'll give you as long as you want to decide on what sort of ability you want to use. But you notice that I'm in these screens, they're still attacking me. That's because I'm on active. They will continue to attack regardless of what you're doing. If you can't find that item you want, well, too bad for you. You also noticed I did something when I was in my menu screen at the very beginning, and I pushed our Magic Warrior's character portrait off to the right, so it was behind the other 2. That puts her in the back row. Now, the difference between front row and back row is front row, back row. That in the back row, where's the gauge? There it is. You deal half damage from with your physical attacks, but you also only take half damage. So, seeing as how we're just using magical attacks, we might as well go into the back row to prevent any sort of extra damage from these guys here. However, in this battle, we got caught in a pincer attack. Now, in a pincer attack, you're very vulnerable. You can't run away. Every character is treated as if they're in their, like, severe front row. Right? Because there is one row. You can't go forward or back because then you'd just be going from one side to the other from who's attacking you. You also take more damage if you're attacked from behind while in a pincer attack. So you have to be very careful. There's also other sort of random attacks you can get in. There's a back attack where your front and back row will be switched because you were attacked from behind, so anyone in the back row will then be in the front row. You can also get the enemies in what was initially, I don't know what it'll be called here, but initially it was called a side attack, which basically means you got the enemy in a pincer attack. Now, one thing I'm going to want to do here is make sure this battle is the one that's going to be really difficult with just one character. So what I want to do is make sure I'm at full health and hope to hell that I get my attacks off in time and they don't decide to hit me with all their strongest right off from the get-go. So let's cross our fingers and hope. Come on, come on, come on. No, no, not good. Come on, Come on. Yes! Okay. Whew. Hopefully this will finish all of them off. Yes! Okay. We're good. Alright. And we learned poison from that battle. Oh, that was my big worry. Whew. That was the one battle I was kind of scared of. But we made it through, so we're good to go. Ooh, another thing. You know, I said we learned poison. Sorry, I meant poisona, which cures poison status. That's basically your antidote from Final Fantasy III English, American. Any other game's called poisona, so that's its proper name. Just pointing it out. But here we are. We're at this mine. We've got, apparently, according to their information, this is where the Phantom Beast was found. So we should check it out, right? Let's. You know what? I'll go inside first a bit. Right? And as I said before, those battles before were scripted. These ones are what you call random battles. You'll just be walking around and randomly, bam, you're in a fight. Scripted battles are ones you have to fight to progress through the game. They always happen at the same point, the same time. If you wanted, you can kind of grind up here, get in some fights, seeing as here you have like an unlimited amount of magic with your heal beam to restore people. No, I don't want to know about save points. I'll explain those in a second. The only problem is now that we've removed our teammates, Biggs and Wedge here, we really have no way of bringing them back. So we've got to go this alone the whole way. So if you didn't want to take them out, then, well, and one of them happens to go down, throughout the rest of this opening scene, you're kind of screwed. They're done. Anyways, here we've got a save point. There'll be items you can use solely at save points later, and being here allows us to save our game. So let's overwrite and overwrite, just because I always like having two, just to stay safe. Dun 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 dun. You know what? Let's continue on. Let's finish up here. Ooh, as I was saying earlier, every now and then you might get in a back attack. There are different types. This is a back attack. You'll see our magic warriors now in the front row, and our two incapacitated soldiers are in the back row. Not really much of a problem. You can also change your rows. Like, you could fix this by just going here to change, pushing left, and now she's in the back row. Though, really, honestly, all that's going to do is help me maybe take a bit less damage from this extra attack he's going to be giving me. You can also defend if you wanted. You didn't have anything else for them to do. Personally, I don't do that very often. If I was going to defend, I'd rather use like some sort of cure or something on myself. Or I'll just have them wait. Like, I'll just stand there and not have them use any abilities. I'm gonna take care of it, huh? Oh, well, that's a pretty good idea. Let's just ram our heads into things. Ah, some people. And here it is, guys, our first boss. Wait, this monster. I remember him. In a dream. He came to me. He told me we would meet him later. No, not really. This is our first boss, and you're gonna need to be careful about with this guy, because for newcomers, he can be pretty difficult. You guys can go back to bed now. Because if you happen to hit his shell, he'll counter with a very powerful magic attack. Lightning-based magic attack. Not that that really matters at this point. But... oh, there he goes. He does this, where his head will disappear, and, you can't target anything but his shell. So, we'll use this time to heal up. And another thing you need to be careful of is you don't want to hit him with lightning, because he absorbs lightning. Makes sense, he's a very powerful lightning elemental enemy, so you don't really want to hit him with it. So, might as well just use our powerful non-elemental magic missile here, and we'll finish him off in no time. I'm pretty sure we only have to hit him one more time. Now, you'll see our magic warrior is kind of flashing white. That means she's been slowed down, so her battle gauge will fill at half speed, so it takes her longer to get to it. We got pretty lucky, because usually when I play this, that's the first thing that this boss does to me, is cast slow on me. So it takes a while for me to be able to get around to using my magic missile again. But this time I got off my first two before he did it, so all I had to do was really wait for him to pop his head back out, and by that point I was guaranteed to have an attack to finish him off. Before we continue on, one thing I'd just like to point out, and if you look at Wedge's stats here, 40, 35, 46, 29, 62, compared to Big's, 41, 36, 45, 28, 65, you'll notice Big's stats are just slightly higher. Biggs is also the one that knew about the Welk and not to attack it with magic or with lightning. He's also, in most translations, you'll see his name, where he's actually the one who takes out this gate here. Which just, kind of little bit of trivia, leads me to believe that Biggs... Oh, we've got another new enemy here. So I'll talk over this battle, just so you can see the other enemy. Biggs is actually the leader of this little troop. Right? He's probably a higher commanding officer or higher soldier than Wedge is. Which is kind of weird considering the Star Wars characters that their names are derived from. Huh. Interesting. Ooh, shiny. Wait, what's she doing? What's going on? We're glowing. What is this light? What is this? Wedge, where'd you go? Oh, Wedge, don't leave me alone. So, wait. Now we're all alone, and... Whoa, what the hell? What is going on here? Oh, no. Oh, this can't be good. Oh, shucks. But, I guess you guys are gonna have to wait until next time to find out what happened to our team. That's right. Until then, guys.